Hey guys, hope that wherever you are, you're doing well and are having a great day so far. So recently I got a new laptop to take with me on my travels, which in the past, when I do travel somewhere, whether by road trip or a flight, I will take this guy with me, which is an Acer 11-inch Chromebook. And because I really like the size, the form factor, it's really light, has great battery life. It's just something that's really nice to take with me compared to a significantly bigger laptop. But I kind of wanted something a bit more than a Chromebook. I don't need, huge power when I'm traveling, something with a lot of features or nice processor or anything, but I wanted at least something with full windows. So as of recently, I saw on sale on Lenovo Canada's website for 350 Canadian dollars. This is the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 3 with an AMD processor, and I really like AMD, so I wanted to support them as well. And it's in this really nice abyss blue color, which, of course, in case you can't tell, I really like blue. So I picked this guy up and just thought, I haven't seen anybody really make a video on it, at least the Windows and AMD version on YouTube. So I thought, well, I guess I'll make one. So we're gonna run through a quick unboxing and then we'll check it out and I'll give you guys my thoughts on it.
Just a quick unboxing, not really a whole lot besides the laptop, some warranty booklets, and a 45-watt charger. It's a barrel plug type charger, not USB-C. This laptop doesn't have USB-C at all, unfortunately, and it would have been really nice because my Chromebook, which also uses a 45-watt charger, just uses a USB power delivery charger, which is a lot easier to find in the case that you want a spare or you break this one compared to this barrel plug design. So this is the IdeaPad Flex 3 with the AMD Athlon Silver 3050E processor. It has 2 Zen cores with 4 threads at a base clock of 1.4 GHz and boosts up to 2.8 with the RX Vega 3 onboard graphics. It has 4 GB of DDR4 2400 MHz RAM, which is actually a limitation of the memory controller on the processor itself, and not Lenovo choosing to use slow RAM, which kind of sucks. 64 GB of eMMC storage, and Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth. So being part of the Flex line, it is a touchscreen. It's one of those units that can fold all the way back and be used as a tablet, although I'll personally never do so myself. The screen itself is an 11.6-inch Full HD 1080p touchscreen. It's a glass capacitive panel, so unfortunately it is glossy, unlike my Chromebook, which I did really like for having a matte screen. They do boast about the brightness at up to 300 nits, so that should help a bit in bright conditions, and it is an IPS panel, but the colors aren't as nice as I would have hoped. It doesn't look as nice as the IPS panel on my Chromebook, which is a matte 720p panel, and like you can tell from the comparison here that the colors, the contrast are definitely better on the Chromebook. Plus, once you turn the brightness up all the way, the colors get even more washed out. I kind of hoped it'd be a bit better than that. On the left side, you have the power input, a USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port, full-size HDMI, and a headphone jack. And on the right side, you have a microphone, your power button, micro SD card slot, and another USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port. Again, unfortunately, there are no USB-C ports on this computer.
The keyboard is unsurprisingly not massive, but it's not what I'd call cramped either by any means. The top row of keys prioritizes the additional functions by default, so if you just press the key, you get whatever's printed on it. If you want to actually use the F key, you hold function and then press the button. But if you actually use F keys more than these functions, it does have a function lock feature. So if you turn that on, then it will inverse how that works. The arrow keys are the combined up and down design, which I don't think anybody likes, but especially on this small of a laptop is pretty par for the course. As far as actual typing goes though, I actually really like this keyboard, and that's just my opinion. It's a big step up from the Chromebook, as much as that's a pretty low bar, but I still like it more than even my bigger laptop, which is an Acer Swift. It sounds better, it's nice to type on, it has surprisingly good tactility, and yeah, I actually like typing on this keyboard. I have no problems with it. The touchpad is serviceable. It doesn't appear to have any sort of oleophobic coating, so it's getting pretty sticky already just from my fingers. It does the two-finger scrolling thing. It has decently clicky buttons on it, although it's not really defined as to
where they are, especially because the touchpad itself is a bit thin and mushy. The line is about a third the way up the trackpad. Overall, not terrible, but not great either. You do have the option of course, using the touchscreen though.
At the top of the screen is a 720p webcam that has a physical shutter, so you can slide this little switch over here and physically block the camera from view. 2 stereo speakers on the bottom here, left and right sides, and they sound surprisingly good, especially even just in free air. This kind of bottom firing speaker design, I was expecting that you'd have to place it on a flat surface for it to sound good, but even, yeah, in midair, it sounds surprisingly good. Good bass, clear highs, it doesn't sound tinny or anything. I'll give you guys an audio sample here so you can hear it both in the air as well as on the box.
Cha cho em sự tự do, cha cho em những lời nói dối, cha cho em những vết thương em xếp ngăn nắp vào anh bao ngày. Người dưng không cần quan tâm, yêu đương gì đâu hỏi thăm. Hôm nay anh vấp ngã chỉ biết nhìn xa xăm. Người ấy là lựa chọn tuyệt vời của anh không đi đi. Anh có bao giờ nghĩ là anh đến đâu đó năm tháng. Anh không hề than trách hay níu cao em rồi lỡ lời. Bởi vì yêu em thôi nên anh đành phải.
So it comes pre-installed with Windows 10 Home in S mode, which does restrict what programs you can install, but of course you can just disable S mode, there's no charge to it or anything, and then it just becomes Windows where you can install whatever you want. And surprisingly, the install is literally 100% clean. There's no bloatware or anything on it at all. Good job, Lenovo. Performance-wise, for what you should be doing on it, because obviously you're not going to be running Cyberpunk or anything like that on this thing, for the normal things that you should be doing on it, it definitely does the job. Here are the benchmarks here for the internal 64GB eMMC SSD. But as far as just, browsing the web and doing normal computer things, it gets the job done perfectly fine. And I actually chose this website specifically because Canadians will tell you just how demanding it actually is to be on the Canadian Tire website and render their web pages. It's actually pretty ridiculous. But yeah, even these big websites, it does take a bit of time, especially when there's a lot of elements and when it's Canadian Tire, but it really does the job. And if you're just consuming media content, it plays 1080p YouTube no problem as well. Obviously, nobody's going to endorse any sort of actual heavy gaming on this, but in the case that you do ever need to pass time, older and less demanding games do run at lower resolutions and settings to kill a bit of time.
Hey Max, how you doing?
Oh, hi Mr. Jefferson. I'm okay. And this is my friend Chloe.
So I was curious to see that if it would actually do sort of basic video editing if I was on a trip or something, and it actually does seem to be getting it done. This is 1080p, 25 megabits per second video from my phone, just slapped it together with some random transitions and stuff, and yeah, I am able to actually, just scrub through, and if I needed to do some sort of basic editing while I was out on the road, then it seems like it actually could with this thing. Even hardware accelerated rendering and encoding does not seem that bad. This is a 40-second video and it took 36 seconds to render. So almost real time, it's actually slightly better. So yeah, it's really doesn't seem too bad. Battery life on it seems pretty solid so far. I've been using it since 8 o'clock this morning, just browsing the web at around mid brightness, and as you can see it is 10 o'clock right now and down to 87% from full charge, and the guessometer still says around 7 hours remaining. So I was expecting a downgrade in battery life for my Chromebook, which would get around 8 hours, but it seems like this is about to do the same, if not better. So yeah, pretty good. All in all though, yeah, I like it. I'm quite happy with it. It gets done what I need it to do, and it's not amazing, it's not super powerful. It has its quirks here and there, but for my use case specifically, nothing deal-breaking, and I do quite like it. But yeah, I hope this provides helpful information for anybody who's also considering one of these.
if you're looking for something that is this size and form factor at around this price range, and you're okay with the low-end specs and things like lack of USB-C and the glossy screen, then yeah, I think it's a pretty good choice. It's just a little travel companion. Anyways, I appreciate you checking out my video. I know I'm not a professional reviewer, or this is a very professional location or method of filming, but I make do with what I have and what I'm able to use. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.